Welcome. I am Dr. Andrew Downey, and what you are about to explore isn't just information, it's an invitation to extract your best life. At Graceful Health Center for Extraordinary Living, we believe that the answers to life's most important questions live inside you. Your body holds a quiet wisdom, an inner knowing that whispers only the truth. But most of us have never been taught how to access and honor this wisdom. This primer is your introduction to evolutionary personal care, a comprehensive approach to healing that connects you to your body's intelligence. In this presentation, you'll discover the 3 territories of existence and 14 stages of consciousness that shape how we relate to ourselves, others, and the world around us. Essentially, how we experience life. You'll learn about the physical landmarks on the front of your body that correspond to the body's neural networks and energy centers. You'll begin to understand the difference between bound energy, which holds us back, and free energy, which is the natural state of ease we are all capable of embodying. The core idea is beautifully simple. If you can't find it, you can't feel it. And if you can't feel it, you can't heal it. Whether you're brand new to this work or returning for a deeper look, this is where the journey begins. Let's explore what is meant to live an extraordinary life from the inside out. So here we are, jumping into the Evolutionary Personal Care Basic Class Primer. What I really want to focus on in this class is helping people get connected to their body, and this audio video file is really intended to help a person create a context for them to view what the program is about, what we stand for as an organization, because there's a vast amount of richness that you can, or a person can, extract from this technology. And, from our experience of working with many people over 30 years of practice, is that when one nurtures the connection to their inner self, their inner knowing, their body wisdom turns on. And when they live from that place, they go from living an ordinary existence to having an extraordinary life. And this is really profound. This is what we're really after as human beings. We want the extraordinary life experience. And if that's not what you want, that's fine, right? If you just want the ordinary existence, that's completely fine. But this is for people that are looking for the extraordinary experience inside of life. And so here we're going to keep trucking along. The deal is that, so I use a number of terms to describe the phenomenon that humans experience in relationship to their inner knowing. I'll call that a person's body wisdom. I'll call that their star player. And so you'll hear me talk about those different things. So, I would generally say that we live in a society that is generally disempowering, and it has the tendency to kind of anchor people into who they used to be. And my understanding is that the more that you access your star player, your inner knowing, and listen to that and take congruent action, then the faster you're going to embody the best life for you. And so your star player is going to answer your most important question. And the thing is that it really only speaks the truth. Now, I don't think that it cares whether or not that you like what it says. I think it just tells you what you need to hear. It tells you truthfully. Sometimes it's a little bit harsh. Sometimes we want to hear what our inner knowing says, but a lot of times what our inner knowing is telling us to do is a little bit outside of our comfort zone. And so my suggestion is to listen to it and then just kind of not be in a hurry, and then just like lean into your growth edge, lean into those changes, because the things that seem to be in our way, that is the way forward. The things that seem to be in our way, those are the things that are the way forward for us. And our body will whisper truths to us about how to go about it that are not necessarily analytically obvious. And so our job through the basic class in evolutionary personal care is to just show you how easy it is to connect with your star player. And the deal is that a person that listens to their star player, they have the tendency to come across as wise. And people who listen to their star player and take congruent action, they build an extraordinary life for them. I've watched this for nearly 30 years in practice now. This is the only thing that we've done professionally. The only thing that I've worked with inside of the profession of chiropractic is about uniting man the physical with man the spiritual, and helping people gracefully on their road of discovery and in the transformation that they make of being alive, being human, in in our in our difficulties, in our successes, maybe doing it with some grace. But this is the concept of healing, and most people would never know that chiropractic was founded on the principles of uniting man the physical with man the spiritual, listening to inner guidance, amplifying that body's wisdom, and taking congruent action. And so, if you're interested in an extraordinary life, that's actually what chiropractic is for. But it kind of got co-opted. It kind of got co-opted by the insurance companies, the medical industry, low back sprain, strain, neck pain. How do I get rid of this problem? How can the chiropractor bill the insurance company for it? All of these kinds of things that are completely off purpose, none of which is what Graceful Health stands for. I'm a super fan of therapeutic chiropractic practitioners. I love it when a person gets their low back pain to go away, when they do something that doesn't involve any drugs, doesn't involve any risky procedures or surgeries. It's a conservative, wonderful way to go. It's just that at its core, chiropractic happens to be about uniting man, the physical, with man, the spiritual. And so that's the thing that we're doing. And healing is a person's inner journey of discovery. That's what we stand for. That's what we're experts in. And so this is the invitation to like be involved. This is the pathway to get involved, and so that's that piece of things, right? So that's what Elan is. Elan is the corporation that I formed 15 years ago or so to train healing facilitators how to decentralize healthcare, how to have a parallel healthcare delivery system that is about people enriching who they are, not necessarily just continuously going back to who they used to be, not learning any lessons, but actually learning lessons from the inside out, amplifying that, leveraging that, and actually growing as a human being. So Elan Healing Systems is the technology that Graceful Health utilizes. There are many offices in and around the area that utilize the Elan healing system to help people construct extraordinary lives. The deal is that all of this stuff is super simple. The philosophy is different than the cultural philosophy of life. And so inside of this moderately long conversation that I'm having with you, I'm really just trying to create a framework for you to understand what it is that we're doing, because it's unique. The technology that we're utilizing, even though it's very advanced, it's actually very simple in practice. And so, central concepts, it's like you've got a brain and you've got a body. And when there is interruption in the information going from the brain to the body or the body to the brain, then the person will not perceive things to be as accurate as they could be. See, we're culturalized to live exclusively in the analytical landscape. The higher IQ you have, then the greater advantage you have in the world. Culturally, we don't pay attention to body-centered wisdom very much. A lot of people are not raised in the way of listening to their inner guidance, listening to that gentle whisper that's inside, even though sometimes it might be screaming at you to make a change in your world, right? It's not honored. And so, because it's not honored, but culture um, amplifies analysis, then many people are living just from their intellectual space. But the thing is that your intellectual space is programmed by culture, but your body speaks to you in truth. And so, what we really want for people is for them to have a really clear communication pathway from their brain to their body, so that their brain can organize and coordinate optimum health in the body. And we want the information from the body moving to the brain, so that the individual can hear the messages that the body is sending. The reality seems to be is that if you can't find it, if you can't locate it, if you can't get breath and movement to it, that means you can't find your body. But if you can find it, then you can feel it. And that then gives you the opportunity to heal through it. And so the phrase that we have around here is that if you can't find it, you can't feel it. And if you can't feel it, you're not going to heal it. So in this basic program, we're going to show you how to couple your focused attention, your breath, your body's movements, and your sensation, right? Because if you put your hands on your upper chest, you can feel that. If you focus on that part of your body, you can move your focus there. If you try to move that party, maybe you can't move that part of your body, right? But you can direct your breath there. So if we take these four aspects of you as a person, then what we can do is we can force your mind and body, your brain and body, all into one part of your body. And in this program, we're going to focus on having your hands over your eyes, over your upper chest, over where your xiphoid process is. That's where your sternum ends, where your ribs come together, roughly in the center of your torso, and then over your belly button. And the thing is that we have these various neural networks in our body that happen to be the physical representation of the energetic chakras, of the major energetic chakras in the physical. So we know from physics that energy is primary. Energy manifests the physical. we are polarized culturally in the direction of the physical. And so we have these landmarks on the physical body that then correlate to these neurological networks. And these neurological networks are the physical representation of the energetic phenomenon that we know as chakras. We number them from lower in the body to high in the body, from 1 to 7, just like the chakra system, just so that it's easy. And I think it's really cool to know that there are neurological networks, they're centers of neurology that are profoundly important, that are in the same places as these energetic centers. And so we're going to show you how to connect into these different ones in the physical and then have an energetic experience of them. And the energetic experience might feel good, it might feel bad, and then how to be able to modulate that, right? It leads to some really profound conclusions. And so the energy dynamics inside of what we would call revitalization care, because we're trying to revitalize the physical body. We're really trying to increase the amount of available energy that an individual has, so that with an abundance of energy, what is it that you do? The only thing that people do when they have an abundance of energy is they take care of the stuff that they know they need to take care of. And all of the things that they need to take care of is just outside of what's comfortable for them. And so we want people to have an abundance of energy, and so that they can move forward. And when you move forward on what you know you need to do for yourself, that's how we extract an extraordinary life for the individual. That's how the technology basically works. And so the thing is that, where did that youthful vital energy go? Where did that get up and go? Where did some of it go? Why is it that you're trapped or anchored to who it is that you used to be? How you're in the same patterns of action and behavior, right? So what we would say is that there's bound energy in your system somewhere, and you're not aware of it. The job of this program is, one of the jobs is to help you become aware of that which you're unaware of, and actually to experience it, so that you have the skill set to be able to do this on your own, and you don't need to come see us professionally. Right? Like, coming and seeing us professionally is a fantastic thing to do. It's not for everybody, and that's completely fine. We just want to serve humanity. And so these programs that we're doing, I believe they really stop people from being codependent with our office, and they really help people like learn how to take care of themselves to a better degree. That's why it's called evolutionary personal care. And so this bound energy is just free energy that you could use to like get up and move forward on your list of things that you know that you need to do to take care of yourself better and better as the time goes on, right? That energy that you could use and allocate to that, it's locked up inside of your system because of all kinds of things that have happened inside of your life and the way that you're relating to that bound energy. And the thing is that when we have experiences in our life, what happens is that, let's say you're in a car accident, or your lover cheats on you, right? These can be horrible, horrible things. And so on an emotional level, it could be, how could you do this to me? And you can't make any sense of it. And because you can't make sense of it, you can't become whole with it. Then you will compartmentalize that energy into a part of your body. And that energy that is bound up inside of your body will have the tendency to maintain itself in existence and gather more energy. So anything that's similar to a person, you know, cheating on you or being mean to you in some way, it can gather and gather and gather, and this distorts the tissue around this area. Maybe it's in your spine, maybe it's around your liver, maybe it's around the kidneys, right? And so, as this bound energy exists in the system, if you don't have a strategy to be able to deal with it, it just holds on to more and more and more energy. This is called stuffing it. This is what we do as people. We don't know how to deal with some things. Life is complicated, and we stuff stuff. We and that energy, the energy is being stuffed in the system, and then because it's not free energy, we don't have that get up and go to go and do the things that we need to go and do. So I hope that that's interesting to you. So what we want to do is we want to liberate that energy. And the way that we do that is that we show people through these hands-on exercises how to access their free unbounded energy. And so this is where it gets a little bit complicated thermodynamically, or the energy of it gets a little bit complicated. We know that whatever you focus on, you get more of. So if you want more free energy, then you need to focus mostly on the free energy. As humans, we are trained to focus on what's wrong and fix it. The problem is that if in the body, if you just focus on what's wrong, the bound energy, then it will have the tendency to increase in its ferocity. So what we have to do is we have to spend most of the time connecting in ease, and then learn to transfer it to where the bound energy is. The free energy is a more liberated state of energy, and bound energy is just free energy, but it's kind of trapped in a container. So if you take the free energy and you put it in proximity with bound energy, it's like you're just reminding the bound energy of its potential, and it starts to liberate. And so the person then has these experiences internally, and that will happen during the seminar, is that you'll have experiences that you can identify and verbalize that will help you be able to recognize that what you're doing is real for you. And that's what matters the most, because, we get introduced into new philosophies, new ideas, and things, and that can be all fascinating. But what matters is the experience, is does it work? And if it works, we should be able to show very, very specific results. And so that's why we have people do quality of life assessments, to be able to track how they perceive their physical body doing. How are they doing emotionally and mentally? What are their stress levels like? What's their life enjoyment like? Right? And so we do the analysis from the inner perspective about how the person's life is going, so that we can determine whether we are on point clinically, helping people achieve better and better qualities of life, independent of their heart arrhythmia, their symptoms, their diseases, their problems. It's like, are you getting better in the middle of your problems? Are your problems going away because you're healing? This is what the office stands for. This is what we're doing, and so this is the program. And so here's what I want. This is what I want for you. Okay, it's like I want you to recognize that there are three different territories of experience. Okay, and we're going to go through all of this little list right here. We're going to go through that list over this next probably 10 minutes. So there are three territories of experience, and I want to introduce you to each of the states of consciousness, because there are roughly 14 different states of consciousness divided up into three different territories of experience. And I want to briefly introduce you to the first two territories, each of the states of consciousness. I want you at the seminar, I want you to discover where ease exists inside your body. I want you to find where the anchors of defense are in your body. And I want you to experience what happens when you get the bound energy to entrain to the state of the free energy. We'll be talking about what your experience is as the bound energy is converted into free energy, what it looks like internally, what it feels like. These are beautiful things. And because they're experiential, then you'll know for you whether it's real or not. And that is literally that's like right where the rubber meets the pavement, is inside of human experience. Because then you know that it's real. And my job is to create a context for how it is that you can view it, so that we can work together to be able to help you extract the best life for yourself, right? This is how I get the best life for myself. I get the best life for myself by helping people in the world. I don't need to do this stuff anymore, other than I feel like I would be shirking my responsibility being a human being with gifts to give, to not give them. And um, so that's that. So these are the 3 different territories of experience. This is a long lasting drawing that Naomi, my lovely wife, and one of the chiropractors here produced. So these different islands are, we've got the land of the ordinary, and then there's a little bridge there. And then you'll see the land of the extraordinary. And the other one is the land of the extraordinary. And what's really interesting, or the land of the magical. What's really interesting about the land of the magical is that the masculine essence and the feminine essence experience about half of the land of the magical differently, because we're different energetically. We're different creatures, right? And so it's true that about 15% of men have a feminine essence, and about 15 to 20% of women have a masculine essence. When you ever hear me talking about masculine and feminine essence, I'm talking about the 80%, just to let it be easy, just to let the conversation be easy. Because anybody that knows, if a person happens to be a man and they know they have a feminine essence, then they're going to experience the feminine side of the land of the magical. That's okay. The land of the magical is the territory of existence where where a where individuals have no problem at all reading each other's minds. It's like, it's very easy to understand where a person's coming from without having a conversation. It's our ability to know that we know. It's our ability to be able to see what it is that the universe is asking us to do. It's the experience of feeling energetically expanded so much that you're the same size as the universe, which experientially is the same thing as God consciousness, right? The unification between the human being and that which is, right? This is what all spiritual traditions are helping people do, is become enlightened. This has been mapped. This has been mapped for generations and generations, and it's talked about, it's prayed about. There are all kinds of ceremonies around it. In general, people are not taught how to walk the talk, though, because there's a vested interest in seemingly almost all cultures to hold people back, because people that are super empowered know who they are, know why they're on the planet. They're very difficult to control. So the control systems want to stop people at the point of taking their power back in their life because they want them to obey the cultural norms. And they use all kinds of coercive tactics, and governments do this, religions do this, spiritual traditions do this. And so being a basic class, that's as much as I'm going to say about the land of the magical. The land of the ordinary and the known has got a number of different states of consciousness in it. And it's the land of the ordinary and the known because we all know it. We all know it. It's like it's the state of consciousness. This state of consciousness is who you're being while you're doing anything. How are you relating to yourself? How are you relating to others around you? It's very easy to understand that if you're in the state of despair, the way that you are for yourself is that I don't have any answers. I don't feel connected to source. I don't even believe that there is a source. I feel alone in this world. It doesn't seem like there are answers. It's like this is just drudgery. I don't think I can get through another day like this. That's despair, right? No answers. Sometimes I feel all alone. Nobody cares, right? There's another state of consciousness that we would call polarity: good, bad, right, wrong. And because we're energetic beings having a physical experience, but we're living in the physical world, everything is very dualistic. And being able to see behind the veil, that's the land of the magical. So the land of the magical has everything to do with non-duality. And so duality is good, bad, right, wrong, black, white. The Democrats are right. The Republicans should go to hell. The Republicans are right. The Democrats should go to hell. Right? I'm right. You're wrong. If you would just change your behavior, everything would be okay with me. If I could just look a certain way, then other people would accept me for who it is that I am. If I just had this new watch, then other men around me would respect me more, right? And so the place of duality is, it's like I have a thyroid problem and I go to the acupuncturist for the acupuncturist to fix my problem. The acupuncturist puts needles in and around in some various acupuncture points, and that's going to increase the chi through various meridians, and that is going to alter the energetic pathways, which is going to alter the physical manifestation of whatever the thyroid problem is. But the state of consciousness that it's coming from is that I'm going to pay you money for you to fix my problem, and I don't have to change. If you're in the state of polarity and you have a thyroid problem, you could take it to a chiropractor, and the chiropractor would say, oh, that's a bummer that you didn't have any success with the acupuncturist. A lot of times they do really good work. I'm glad you found me, because what's really going on is that the C6 on C7 nerve root is got vertebrae like kind of compressing on the nerve, so the brain can't coordinate the activity with the thyroid gland. So we're going to adjust your spine, free up that nerve flow so that your body can be the self-curing organism that it is. And the chiropractor adjusts the person, and maybe the person sees a little bit of change for a little bit of time, but the person doesn't change as a human being. And so the tendency is that if a person doesn't change, then the problem persists, right? Culturally, we're making the assumption that if you have a disease or a condition, that what you should do is just give your problem to somebody else to fix it for you, because symptoms and diseases have no meaning and purpose. So just pay somebody to get rid of it so that you can just stay the same. Well, what if how you are as a person, how you relate to yourself, how you relate to others, what you do for a living, right? How you relate to the world, maybe that's the problem. Nobody's addressing that, right? Where all the money is it's okay, I'll fix your problem for you. That's where the money is, right? Empowering individuals and giving them the skills to be able to connect into the parts of them that are good and difficult to deal with, and then doing something with that, and then watching them grow, evolve, and change. It's just a unique, newer story inside of our world, right? That's what we're standing for. And so, we have all of these different healthcare providers, whether it's a chiropractor, an acupuncturist, a regressional hypnotherapist, a medical doctor. The medical doctor goes, "Oh, I'm so grateful that you finally came to me, because now it's like we can just give you a little bit of Synthroid, and sure, your hair's going to thin and it's going to cause these other body problems, but at least you'll have enough thyroxine running around in your system," right? They're just different approaches to anesthetize the problem, or to get the problem to go away so the person can return to who they used to be, so that they don't have to change. This is like this is huge in our society. Most marketing, most of capitalism preys on this situation. Number one inside of sales is point out what the problem is, make people feel that problem intensely, and then provide a solution for them, right? That's what's generally taught in marketing and sales. That's how you drive the money thing, right? It's not about standing for people and helping people move forward on their journey of discovery and helping them transform into the individual. Maybe the thing that they see in their way is the way forward. Maybe they need to learn and grow a little bit. Maybe life is actually a teacher. Maybe your body problems and your symptoms actually have some juice in it. It's got some juice in it for you, for your personal evolution, right? I would contend that that's what's going on. And so I want them to have like really great connection between their body and their mind, so that they can reference what their body is saying and with their analytical intelligence, so that they can come from a whole place to be able to make decisions for themselves, right? So that's the state of polarity. It's inside the land of the ordinary, because that is where everyone generally exists, is inside the state of polarity, of always trying to fix their problems while staying the same. And so we have the state of being connected internally and being at ease. You don't feel like you are really needing to address any difficulties, right? You don't really feel like there are really any difficulties. You can just kind of move through your life. Sure, there are some things that are off, but maybe maybe you don't feel like you need to deal with it, right? And so we have the state of despair. There are no answers. The state of duality, there are answers to my problems, but they're outside of me. And then there's the state of connected in ease, where things are just nice. You're on a sailboat in the Caribbean drinking Mai Tais at 10 in the morning, right? No big deal. It's just life is easy. Look at how beautiful that is. That happens sometimes too, right? We also have the state of being disconnected and apathetic. A person, they're disconnected from their self, what's really going on with themselves and the others around them, and they don't care. We'll address that entire argument generally in 2 sentences. If somebody is apathetic about themselves, others around them, and the situation that they're in, the most loving, best thing that you can do is to just help them be comfortable. That's the evolved approach to it. Don't try to fix them. They don't believe there's any fixing their problem. They're apathetic about it. So people can be disconnected and apathetic. They can also be connected in ease, right? Person sitting around, everything's hunky-dory. They can be in the state of polarity, good, bad, right, wrong. They can be in the state of despair, where there are no answers. They're all alone in this world, and it's never going to get any better, right? And then there's another state of consciousness in this territory, and it's really cool. What it is it's disconnected and searching. When the person in classically, this is the person that is classically trained to be analytical in origin and fear-based. They're fear-based and they're analytically oriented. They have the tendency to have high aspirations and know that there's more goodness that they can extract, and they're searching. They're looking for answers. That's a beautiful thing. So they're disconnected from their body-mind, but they're actually looking for answers. They've been culturalized to just come from their intellect. And so they disregard their body's information pathways, even though generally they've had experiences that their inner knowing tells them something very truthful. And they find that fascinating. So I love meeting people that are disconnected and searching. So those are the different states of consciousness in the land of the ordinary. In that bridge, this is the separation of consciousness in culture right now. Because after a person goes to the chiropractor, the acupuncturist, the medical doctor, the regressional hypnotherapist, the nutritionist, for any of those people to solve their problem for them and not require any growth on their side. And a lot of times that a person will go from practitioner to practitioner, and it maybe works temporarily, but at a certain place of ineffectiveness, or they're not happy with the toxicity of the drugs and they don't want to do the surgery, let's say, they'll get to this beautiful place. They'll go, what do I have to do with this? And they won't know. They won't know what that is. That's the state of consciousness of sacred pause. I know I have a role to do in me moving through this problem, but I don't know what to do. Everybody that loves you is going to try to fix your problem for you and pull you back into the land of the ordinary. They're going to try to be your polarized savior. Oh, I hear you're dealing with that problem. I just read this book, and what they say to do is red light therapy, methylene blue. You need more magnesium, right? They're going to come up with something, and they're doing it because they care, right? They're offering you a polarized solution to your state of consciousness where you're right at the edge of I know I need to do something different, but I don't know what it is. What's culturally inappropriate for them to do, it's actually very appropriate. It's very loving, and it's very spiritual, is just like, I trust you. You're going to come up with the right answers. I look forward to hearing what you do about it. That is super empowering, right? They're not trying to take away your problem and fix it for you. What they're doing is they're empowering you to come up with your own answers to your freaking question that you're asking. You will come up with novel insight to the answer to your issue. The thing about human beings is that we're nonlinear. So the answers that come to you in the state of sacred pause, they don't necessarily analytically make sense. But it also doesn't make analytical sense that if you are a woman and a man walks up to you and in an appropriate way hands you a flower and kisses you on the cheek, that all of your hormones start to change instantaneously. You become flushed and your brain stops working momentarily, right? And you're taken away by the moment. We are non-linear people. A small amount of input in doesn't mean a amount of input out. Just like the inner messages that your body wisdom will express to you, it doesn't necessarily it doesn't need to make sense. We're non-linear, right? You're driving down the road, you see a little bit of blue and white and red flickering photons coming off of your rear view mirror. All of a sudden you start sweating and your sympathetics fire and you're starting to freak out. What did I do? What did I do? These are just little photons and you get this global cascade through your system. We're non-linear beings. If you have a problem and it's like your inner knowing is saying, you know what, you really need to go and clean that stairwell. You need to sweep that stairwell. You need to do this. And so you go and do that, and then you watch something else happen in your life non-linearly change. That's why mystics seem strange, is because they operate non-linearly. They pay attention to their divine and inner guidance, optimally divine and inner guidance, and then make decisions based on that. It doesn't look normal. People will start to seem a little bit strange because of how they behave. But because we are nonlinear creatures, it ends up working out better for us because that which is knows more about the life we're supposed to have than we do. We are taught culturally to try to control and create the life that we want. That which is knows more about us and what we want than we do. And so we end up fighting. We end up fighting our inner truths. And there's this conflict. And so I want to dial up the volume, the amplitude of that body wisdom so that it annoys me and it annoys you so much that you actually address it and take action on it and then see what happens in your life. I've never seen a person live this way and that their life doesn't categorically get better. In the land of the extraordinary, once a person learns the lesson that they're the one asking the question, they need to come up with the answers. The states of consciousness are as follows. They are personal merging. This is the experience of being energetically whole internally. That's different from being whole through your entire self and the universe. That's more land of the magical stuff. But feeling completely whole as an energetic being, being able to have your entire focus in your body all simultaneously and have that energy expanding. That's what that is. That's that state of consciousness. You are merged with what it is fully through you as a whole human being. There's also a state of inner strength. This is the state of I know what I need to do. I haven't done it yet, but I know what I need to do. There's no going back. I'm never going back to that job. I'm never going back to that relationship. I deserve more. I deserve more than what it is that I've been given myself. That state of being is a state of being of transformation. even though you haven't done it yet. You know what you need to do, and you have a ton of energy to back it up, but you haven't done it, right? Then there's the state of personal power. This is the last little bit of energy that you need to extract because you've done tons and tons of the work moving in the direction of getting something accomplished. You still haven't done it. It's the last little bit of energy build up before you peacefully resolve, which is the next state of consciousness in the land of the extraordinary. That's called peaceful resolution. You actually take action on it. It's done and it's over with, and there's no residual energy. You know where the anchor was in your body that was holding you back, and it's gone. There's no going back to who it is that you used to be. You're different, and others are going to relate with you differently. So that's the 3 territories of experience. That's a brief introduction to some of the states of consciousness. And in the basic EPC class, what we're doing is we're going to show you the experience of connected in ease, connected in despair, where the energetic anchors are, and what to do about it. And so to provide context of the differential between people with body wisdom and people that do not listen to their body, that's what this slide is built for, because hopefully it can show a person a bit of the pathway, the road ahead that we are guiding people down. And so we have this continuum, this idea that wellness and illness exist on a continuum. Illness is the pure experience of despair. There's nothing good about me. I don't have any way to move forward. I don't know why I even stay alive. There are no answers to my problems. It's probably going to get worse. That's illness. It's the experience of illness. On the other side of that continuum is wellness. What is that? It's, come on, God. Bring it on. I can take it. Right? When you're challenging the universe to dish it out, right? I can do it. That's wellness, right? Wellness is not how much yoga you do, how much you exercise, what kind of foods you eat, whether you smoke or not, whether you jump out of airplanes, right? Risk avoidance, healthy exercise, optimal nutrition choices. That's not wellness. Those things are called a healthy lifestyle, and they might be part of the experience of wellness, but I'll tell you, I've taken care of a lot of people. And I've met a lot of people who eat the best diet and take the best supplements, and they exercise and they do yoga and they pray and everything. They do everything, and they are living a quiet life of desperation. So a healthy lifestyle is not wellness. Wellness is, let's go. What are we doing? Right? You're ready. You're up for it. You're interested in the life experience. Let's go. Willing to risk it. Dish it out. I can take it. I've got an abundance of energy. Bring it on. Right? That's wellness. I'm good. You're good. Let's work it through. Right? That's wellness. It's sad that our culture has conflated the ideas between a healthy lifestyle and wellness. So there's a continuum. There's a continuum between illness and wellness, and where you exist on the illness to wellness continuum is an inner landscape concept. There is no urinalysis, blood analysis, x-ray, or MRI that can tell any clinician how well or ill you are. Your wellness to your illness, where you exist on that continuum, is how present in ease you are throughout your spine. That happens to be true, or at least from the 30 years of study that we've done, that seems to be true. So human beings that cannot find their body, they have body anesthesia. At the far end of the body anesthesia spectrum is a term called alexithymia. The person cannot verbalize, and it happens more in men than women. The term is alexithymia, the inability to verbalize any experience that's going on inside of them other than pain and sexual pleasure. That's it. The general term is, so that's the extreme portion of it. So a human being that cannot locate and connect into their body, over time they develop body anesthesia as more and more energy is locked up inside of their physiology. They become more and more disconnected from self, and they then will make all of their decisions and take actions based on their analysis and cultural norms. The culture preys on people like this. They have lost the ability to be self-referential because they cannot tell whether something resonates with them or not. And so they're pushed around by cultural norms. And they have the big tendency to end up judging themselves to be on the illness side of the illness to wellness continuum. Human beings that can find their body have the tendency to experience inner knowing getting dialed up as time goes on. They take actions that are based on analysis and body wisdom. It's both of them, right? Because you can't just be impulsive with what the body says. You have to bounce that against your ability to critically think and to analyze things. They're both very important. These people have the tendency to move in the direction of wellness. And so this leads us to this idea that the human body is the gateway. The body, and exploring the body, is the gateway to an extraordinary life experience. So inside of Elon, we have these central driving concepts that we want for human beings. And so the idea, culture pushes people over to the left and down in this graph. Elon healing and other traditions push people up and to the right. Okay? And so on the x-axis, we have moments have no meaning, right? Life has no meaning. You don't matter. There is no God. After 2 generations, nobody's going to even know that you existed. So because life has no meaning, the moments of life have no meaning. Therefore, I can do anything that I want because of that. That is what culture creates. I want to see people move in the direction of all moments have meaning. The problem with all moments have meaning, then you need to be responsible for all the moments in your life. That's a spiritual quest. Culture drives people towards superficial experiences, meaningless, superficial experiences. On the y-axis, we have moments are superficial, and On the high side of that, its moments have depth. What do I mean by that? It's very possible to hand a person a dozen roses and it doesn't change them at all. It's, you get oh, thank you, right? Dozen roses, smell good, great. A person that can extract more nuance and more depth out of it, they could be handed a single rose and they can experience the love from the individual, the beauty, the scent, and it can globally take them over and it can change them. Rather from you could take a dozen roses or a single rose. It could just be superficial. It could have tremendous amounts of depth. It's how well can you see into the moment? How well can you see with depth into the experience? What's your range of being able to accumulate energetic information and upload it and feel all of it? That's more depth. Because people are pushed more and more towards superficiality, things have to be more and more intense for them to get any enjoyment out of it. That's how dopamine works, and thank God we're not going to spend an hour going over that. So what happens in care is that when people start care in any of our offices or they engage in evolutionary personal care exercises, what happens is they start to connect into their body and release tensions. They start to have moments that have more depth and that they're meaningful. So they get pushed up and to the right. They get pushed up and to the right. The culture is trying to push people down and to the left. What we're doing is we're combating that cultural force, attempting to help giving people legitimate pathways to be able to move up and to the right, because that's where all the richness is that life has meaning. I have purpose. Little old me, I have a reason to exist. I have gifts to give. It's meaningful, right? And I extract tons of value from it personally, right? This is the juice of life, right? In later in care, what happens is that and in evolutionary personal care, more in the advanced kind of part of things, we start to learn how to like ignite the energy that's internal and turn it into like balls of fire to utilize it as fuel to propel you forward in the land of the extraordinary. This is where people make major changes inside of their life, constructive major changes inside of their life, right? And after it's generally quite a while with people in care, but it all depends on who shows up. Sometimes people come very well prepared for what we're doing, and they have been working on themselves for a very long time. They have the tendency to move very fast if they're emotionally compliant, meaning they have a repertoire of the ability to deal with their own anger, vindictiveness, their own passions, their own sorrow. Like they're emotionally compliant. They've got a nice adult skill set of dealing with emotion. They've got a good connection to source. There's then just a few things for us to help them with cleaning up and stuff like that. And what do we see? We see them expanding their sense of self, their interconnectedness, and what it always leads to is greater service of humanity. And so this is our bigger vision for the people that we're taking care of. And I appreciate you if you've made it this far in the video. I look forward to seeing you in the evolutionary personal care like basic workshop. And so thank you very much.